I'm Janet.
And I'm Brian.
And we are Distinctive. So we are dual income, no kids couple who happens to love Disney World. And recently we posted a video on our channel about Disney Springs reopening when they announced that, and now they've they've announced when Disney World is going to open the parks and the resorts. So we thought we would take a little trip in the Wayback Machine and see how good our wild guesses were about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, so we're gonna go into first the discussion of what has been announced in terms of the opening, and then we'll go visit to see how many times our prognostications were right versus wrong, who's the winner between the two of us.
Oh yes, it's a competition.
Yeah, of course it is. And then we'll close this video out with some more prognostications of things that have yet to be announced. So
all right, so
let's go into it.
I updated my nerdy graph from the previous video. And so you can see Shanghai Disneyland just as a comparison on the left-hand column and on the bottom there, and Walt Disney World. So it was closed almost 120 days with Disney Springs reopening on May 20th with the third-party shops and dining, and the Disney-owned shops and dining opened on May 27th. So that's where we're at right now. But just recently, they got the approval to reopen the resorts and the theme parks. So the resorts, only the DVC parks right now, or DVC resorts right now have been announced to reopen, and those are going to open on June 22nd, along with Fort Wilderness. And the Magic Kingdom and the Animal Kingdom are going to open July 11th, and Epcot and Hollywood Studios are going to open July 15th. So that's where we're at right now and what we know so far as dates.
And as you can see, as of today, it's been a little under 120 days since the theme parks have closed. So we're still waiting for that total tally that's going to be. And as indicated from all the emails being sent out and notices that for annual pass holders like ourselves, it'll be extended by the number of days that have been closed. And there's some prognostications we'll have about that.
Yeah, and so we didn't talk too much about the DVC side of things, but probably that's the reason why they're reopening just the DVC resorts, because they have a lot of kind of backlogged points, and so they've been communicating with DVC members about that as well. So it seems like regular hotel reservations are still on hiatus for the moment, or being filled by NBA stars, one or the other. But the DVC hotels are going to be open. They're not taking any new reservations yet. They're just modifying old ones. So we're going to go through and we're going to talk about all the specific rules in contrast to what we thought they were going to be. So rule number 1.
Let's get right into it and see who was right.
Do you think there will be fireworks show? No fireworks shows. Yeah, I think we're in pretty much agreement on that. I think everyone's in agreement on that.
So we were both right on that. No fireworks for the foreseeable future.
Now I feel bad that I high-fived about no fireworks.
I know that's sad. But
hardly a surprise.
Honestly, that's probably why one of the opening date suggestions were wrong, is because of a fireworks controversy. But we'll get into that one later. So that's one for each. Let's go on to the next topic. 5 is guaranteed going to open parades. 1 is absolutely not.
Okay.
All right.
You say 3.
I say 3.
I say 2. I don't think there will be a Festival of Fantasy parade, but I do think they might do the Rainy Day parade or some version of it.
3 because, we just don't know, but Shanghai has a parade in the reopening. And they are able to do social distancing by having predetermined viewing areas, which they already do mark out with masking tape. So what they'll have to do is just ensure that guests are further apart from each other within those viewing areas, and at reduced capacity, that shouldn't be that big of a problem. So that's why I think
And so that one's kind of a draw because I thought they might do the rainy day parade, but
Yeah.
I also thought that there was less possibility of parades altogether.
Yeah,
so.
I did give a 3 out of 5. I thought they were just gonna enforce like social distancing while watching the parades, and there would be a way to do that with a reduced capacity.
I still think that probably parades are one of the things that'll probably come back
Sooner.
relatively
Yeah.
soon. I think that they'll probably just need more time to think about how can they do this and get a gauge of the crowds and things before they try. It's one of those don't put the cart before the horse. Like, let's let people in the park and see what that looks like, and then think about doing parades.
So the count is I'm 1 for 2, and you are also
I'm
one.
also 1 for 2.
Okay, let's go to the next topic.
Do you think they're going to do temperature checks, and if so, at what point in the process? Give it a 5.
I mean, I said it was before security. Same
Yeah.
thing. We said
And infrared, right? Forehead scanner. kind of
yeah,
thing going.
infrared. Yeah.
Yep.
So why'd you go 5?
I think that is kind of one of the most standard and also most easily implemented things. And I mean, I get that it's not 100% indicator of someone's status, and I know that a lot of people have been saying, well, it's hot in Florida, particularly in the summer, so it's probably not going to be accurate. But I think they'll at least start with it, and if it turns out to be, a logistical nightmare, they might get rid of it quickly. But I think they're definitely going to try it to start.
Well, it looks like we were both right on the temperature checks.
I'm going to get a new post-quarantine job as a guru.
As a guru, sure. And we were both right on them being before security. That was indicated as well.
I mean, we kind of cheated on that one a little bit, right? Because they had already announced that that's what they were going to do for Disney Springs, and it makes perfect sense that they would do the same thing at the theme park, because like we said, it's easy to do.
Yep. So I am now 2 for 3, and you are
also 2 for 3.
Okay.
It's a tie.
It's a tie so far.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, next topic. Let's get into it.
What do you think is going to be the minimum distance that Disney recommends keeping from other people?
1 meter. That's
1 meter.
3 feet.
I know.
Well, that's what the WHO says. But
That's my point.
WHO is run
Worldwide company.
It's run by China though.
But how many people?
We don't trust the WHO anymore.
Okay, but Disney has a very strong connection with China. They have a bunch of parks in China, and they are an international company. Lots of people from around the world come to Disney World, not just Americans.
I get it, but no American business is going to be seen adhering to WHO guidelines over CDC guidelines when we are in a political strife.
But do you think it's actually physically possible to walk down Main Street and stay 6 feet from everybody?
No, of course not. But they're not gonna enforce it through walking through the park.
No, I lost my lead.
No, you didn't. I mean, it was a tie, but you just lost.
I'm behind. No.
It's okay. I mean,
I can't even be a guru. What am I gonna do?
That whole 1 meter thing, like, come on, like. WHO stuff, we were going to go with CDC, but it's
I still think you can't walk down Main Street and keep 6 feet from anyone.
It's impossible, and they probably won't enforce it. Maybe the first week.
So an interesting thing was Shanghai Disneyland, within like the first week of it being open, they got rid of the social distancing at the outdoor dining. All the outdoor dining tables were open within like a week of it opening. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see that sort of thing happening here too, right? Where it's gonna like start pretty restrictive, but then in the places where it's hard to enforce or people are kind of not really doing it because they don't think it makes any sense, those are gonna be the parts where they kind of just start, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's already...
They only have so many cast members, so something's gonna have to give unless the capacity numbers are so low that it's, like a really low ratio between cast members and guests. That's the only way.
Well, I mean, the rumors of the capacity is like 20% starting out. With whether or not that's true, we don't know. But I think that social distancing of 6 feet is only really going to be enforced in lines for attractions or for shopping or for dining, waiting on your table. That's
And
it.
so they did cancel all the fast passes. So people who had reservations that were allowing for them to make fast pass reservations, all of those the other day just got canceled. Doesn't matter if you have a valid hotel reservation, valid ticket, doesn't matter. All of the fast passes got canceled, and the reason that was given, part of the reason that was given for that, was they wanted to free up the queue space.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's going to be at least some sort of standby line, and they're using that extra space that normally would be the fast pass line to allow for more people in the physical queue space while still allowing for the distancing.
So that makes me 3 for 4, and that makes you 2
for
2 for 4. Okay, 2 for 4. Clear.
Cat.
All right.
I'm gonna get you on this one.
Yeah, right. We'll see. Next topic.
Face masks. 1 to 5. 1, they won't care at all. 5, everyone must wear a face mask.
3. You put a 4.
I think cast members will absolutely be required to wear face masks.
That's actually
Guests will be strongly encouraged to wear face masks. That's what I think.
Yeah, Josh Damar already recommended.
I think there's no doubt that the cast members
will be wearing it. They don't have to. It's not a requirement.
They
by
wear
the
a
law,
uniform, so they'll just tell them it's part of the uniform.
I said a 3 because honestly, I think they'll just strongly encourage it. Well, I guess I was wrong on that one. Yeah. Pulling back, sure. Well, I actually knew in advance of recording that last video that the Disney had made an agreement with their largest union that represents all sorts of employees at the parks in Disney World, that they agreed to require masks of the guests in order as a stipulation to protect the cast members. I just thought that they would be a little bit less restrictive on where you'd have to wear the mask. I thought it was only going to be indoors, essentially, where you'd be required to wear a mask.
So I was more right than you, but neither of us was really all the way right? Because they actually said masks pretty much all the time for everybody. And so the new rule that Disney kind of solidified or put out on their website is any guest 2 and up. That's who has to wear a mask, and obviously all the cast members will be as well. So
yeah,
that's where it stands right now. So if you don't have your masks yet, obtain a useful mask if you're planning on going anytime soon.
Yeah, it will be hot and sweaty. You'll be schwitzing.
It's gonna be hot. Even here, we live in Georgia, and even just going out around here is hot. And Florida's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse as the summer goes along. So don't underestimate that. I'm actually a little bit concerned about that one if we end up going anytime when it's still warm, because I'm sensitive to the heat and I tend to just drink water all the time. Like, I just don't even take any risks with my hydration, and if we're walking someplace, I've got my water bottle in hand and I'm just kind of drinking it all the time and refilling it every time it gets empty, and I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. I'm gonna have to take breaks, I think, and hydrate and then continue on my way, kind of thing. But
yeah, it's gonna be essentially I already infected the mask, gotta throw it up. I already infected the mask, gotta throw it up. I mean,
it's okay to pull it down and put it back up if you're doffing it correctly and then washing your hands and then putting it on and then washing your hands, you'd be all right.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing that while drinking a water bottle in the middle of Epcot. Yeah, realistic. Yeah, exactly. I won't go if they require face masks.
So does that still stand?
I won't go unless they require. I mean, if they require me to wear face mask, no. Okay.
Now's the moment to put your money where your mouth is.
Knowing that it's required, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future.
And as we just established, it's going to be miserable.
It will be miserable. I don't want to go if now that they're requiring face masks. I would still consider going, and I think it's likely that the face mask is going to either just in practice not be enforced after a while because it's just not practical in that kind of a heat, and the risks are really reduced outdoors anyways, or it's going to be after a while just removed altogether as a requirement, maybe just changed to encourage. either way, by the time we decide to actually go, there's a chance that that might not be a requirement anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to go near to when it reopens, but we're not like, we must be there on day one.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I think with the new reservation system, which is the way that they're going to be doing park entry coming up, you might not have the option anyway. It could very well be that they already have all the capacity numbers all the way through July. So if that's the case, it's kind of a moot point. You might be talking about going in, September. Anyhow, because that's the first date you can get. So if that's the case, then the conversation about the heat changes.
So we bled into a little bit of the next topic, which is essentially who are they going to allow to go into the parks when they reopen. So let's see who was right on that. Right now we're still 3 for 5 each.
Tied.
So
Tie game.
See what happens.
Who do you think is going to get to access first?
I say pass holders within driving distance.
But there's no way that they can
there is a way they can
control
encourage
who's
that.
in driving distance.
There's a way they can encourage it. They're not going to run the Magical Express.
Maybe they're not going to open up all of the resorts within all categories. No, I agree that the demand is there, and that's why I'm saying they would restrict it to people who are staying in their hotels, because they can control how many people are staying in their hotels. So they can guarantee, if they restrict it to only resort guests, that they're not going to have more than X number of people trying to access the park on any given day.
They're not going to ban annual pass holders, because that means that's more days they have to refund.
So we were kind of both right on that one, but I was more right than you.
I mean, I don't know how you gave yourself a point on that one.
Because I got that they were only going to open half the hotels. Come on, I'm a guru.
But you said only those who had resort reservations were going to be allowed in the parks.
Yeah, but we don't actually know that yet. They haven't actually said who's going to be allowed in the parks. They haven't restricted it to anybody. Right now, it's anyone who can get a reservation can get in the parks.
Wait. Don't go that far, because we do have some indication, because they said based on the new reservation system, you're going to have to reserve a specific park entry for a specific day. Yeah. And it said those who already have tickets, including annual pass holders, will be able to make a reservation for that park day first, and then people who can get new tickets.
Okay, but don't you think that means that some family who lives in Michigan that has multi-day tickets that were valid for April can make a reservation? Because I do. That's how I read it.
I mean,
they have a valid ticket.
Yes.
So it's not just locals.
True.
It's not just pass holders. It's anyone with a valid ticket.
Yes.
So if you already had a Disney World vacation planned, you can go.
But it doesn't require you to have a resort reservation. So I think it's a no point on either way. Either we both get it, or we don't. Neither one of us get it.
No, I got that they were going to only open half of them. So even though that wasn't the question, I think I still get a point because I knew.
We'll give you the bonus point. That'll be a tiebreaker, okay?
Fine. Tiebreaker point.
All right, so
Janet takes
so it's 4 for 6 for each one of us, but she's got a tiebreaker, supposedly, whatever that means.
What do they call that in tennis?
I don't know.
It's love, but with the advantage to me.
Advantage, sure. You can't be love with an advantage.
Shh.
It's okay. So let's go on.
I said I was psychic, not that I'm a tennis star. Okay.
Let's go on to the next topic. Essentially, who's likely to visit the parks during this brand new reopening period? So
here we go.
Let's see it. What type of guest is going to go willingly during this period where there's restrictions in place? Who's the type of guest that's going to come? Now, see, if we don't have the same answer.
Yeah, annual pass holders or locals.
Or locals. Well, obviously, I wouldn't put locals in there though. They're not even going to open it up to non-pass holders.
I think you're going to see resort guests first, and then you're going to see pass holders before anybody else.
All right, we're in agreement on that.
All right, so obviously no points on that one because it's not open and we don't know.
We don't know. I mean, we have some indication. We know that it's not only going to be annual pass holders, because they seem to indicate with the reservation system, as we talked about earlier, that those who have tickets already, even single multi-day tickets, they're going to be able to have an opportunity to reserve a park visit. So it's not there.
And it's not going to be resorts only. Like I thought, maybe it was going to be. Although it does kind of seem like they are kind of using that to try and orient toward pass holders, because most DVC people are pass holders.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Pretty much anybody that's staying in a resort hotel has a pass, I would guess, right? Which means that unless people are coming from elsewhere and, you know, taking the increased risk of flying at this time and then staying off property or paying cash for a DVC resort, which is going to be tough to do because they have so many outstanding points right now. Like, I think the number of people staying in resort hotels who are not pass holders is going to be pretty small. And similarly, I think the number of locals who are going to already have reservations or valid tickets is going to be pretty small.
Yeah.
So they kind of have limited it to pass holders just by the way they arranged things.
Yeah, and I do think that really when they do this fully announced reservation system, that it's going to essentially be, whether it's forced or not, but the end result will be only annual pass holders. And I still think annual pass holders are in driving distance, because they're either going to enforce that by just not running Magical Express, which is a possibility, or they're just not going to open up the resorts except for DVC, which is the only thing they've announced opening. So it's probably the latter. They just won't open any of the resorts, which means most likely you're not going to fly here to go stay off. You could fly here, stay off property, but I think without saying it, they're going to effectively make it annual pass holders only. So
For a while anyway.
And the reservations,
I would say it's probably going to be like that through the fall.
Yeah.
Up until like Christmas or even after Christmas. Like, I think that's going to be, I think when you get to the Disney Christmas season, depending on what the capacity limits and whatever are at that time, that's the point at which kind of just people who didn't already have stuff planned can start making new plans for, and there's going to be space for them. I think that's when that's going to start. Late in the year, early next year. You heard it here first, and I'm a psychic. And
I think if you read between the lines of the Disney announcement of the reservation system, it kind of seems to hint at, like, pass holders are going to get there's some prioritization scheme. They didn't say who gets priority other than those who have tickets and annual passes. But it seems like annual passes are going to have a higher priority than those who had tickets for previous dates that are now just extended for the rest of the year, most likely.
I don't know about that.
There's some prioritization scheme they have to have in place anyways, because they have to make sure that their servers don't crash by everybody and their mother trying to reserve at the same time.
I mean, I think it's going to be controlled by when they send the emails out mostly.
Well, one of the ways they're going to prioritize it one way or the other, and ultimately it's going to be prioritized most likely to annual pass holders, and they're going to fill all the reservations that are available based on the capacity, and no one else is going to have a shot, even if that's not the official
rule. I don't know. I think.
No, we'll see. We'll see.
It might end up that way, but I don't think they're going to manipulate it to intentionally be that way.
Oh, they will. They will. We'll see.
We'll find out.
But it's going to be hard to
All right, what else did we predict?
Next topic. First day of resorts.
July 1st. I put June 8th.
No.
I think it's going to be tough for them to rely only on local foot traffic for Disney Springs for longer than a couple of weeks. I think they want to test it out for a short period of time with locals and people who are willing to come just for Disney Springs. And then I think they'll start slowly opening up with just Disney Springs and the hotels before they ever get to the parks. And I think that about, what is that, 10, 18 days? So, almost 3 weeks. I think that's about right.
My belief is, although we do have full disclosure of booking on June 8th, so we would like for June 8th to be that day, but parks will be open. And I think they want to test the park to all the new procedures with obviously going to do some testing before that with their own, with their own cast members, but they want to do it in much smaller capacity than 50%.
So you think they're going to open the parks before the resorts?
I think they're going to open up the parks June 1st.
Yeah, okay, so I get a point.
No, you don't get a point.
Resorts before parks.
Oh my gosh.
We were both wrong on
First
the
of all-
date.
first
You
of
were
all-
closer on the date,
Yes.
but, well, I mean, you were too
I
late. You
said-
said July 1st,
said
and they're
July
opening
1st.
June 22nd. The
No,
parks.
hold
or
on.
the resorts.
Resorts. The question was, when did we think the resorts was going to open?
And the answer is June 22nd.
Okay, no.
So it was right in between
No,
what we both
no.
said.
No.
If anything, we
No.
should be using, we need to use Price is Right rules here.
No.
Closest without going over.
Okay, look. The only resorts that are opening are DVC resorts.
That's
And
like
they're-
half of them.
But we don't even know if they're allowing other bookings other than DVC members during that. Most likely they're not going to allow for other bookings. They don't have to. Legally, they're not obligated to offer to the public DVC property. So, technically, you're not right because the resorts aren't open. At least the ones that are definitely for the public. All right? You're not right.
Technicalities.
And I'm not right on the July 1st because those same resorts that I'm referring to, open to the public, aren't have an announcement at all.
Well, I don't know because we have like it said in the video, we had our reservation, right?
Yes.
Which we
Was a
actually
DVC
ended up,
property.
which was a DVC property, and we actually moved it
Huh?
to post June 22nd. They canceled it, and I got it modified, and it has not been canceled. So even though we're not DVC members, we could go.
And that might be the case for those who
I mean,
have
it'd
been
be dumb
canceled.
because it's before the parks open, but we could go.
Yeah, so that's... We don't know if they're going to cancel it. We don't know if it's because before the parks. We don't know if it's just because we booked it in advance and it got canceled the
Okay,
first
yeah.
time. There's lots of questions to whether or not they're allowing bookings for the public to go to DVC properties.
Okay, fine.
And they're not all the DVC properties, so there's some
Fine, I
logic to it.
cede my point.
Okay, thank you. No
4-3.
points. No point.
I'm still winning.
No, we both have 4 points. You have a bonus point. We have both 4 points, so don't try. All right, for all intents and purposes, you have an extra point. Okay, fine.
Fine, 3-3 advantage to me.
No,
Next.
what the hell? The points are all. All right, you messed up. The whole points are messed up. All right, but we'll go on. All right, so the next topic, as we just got into,
We
is
did the
about-
resort states, now the park states.
Now the
What
park
did we
states.
say?
But before we go into that, I am sort of right that they're opening up the parks before the publicly available.
Oh, so you think
resorts.
you deserve a point?
I mean, I'm half a point, so that bonus point we
Fine.
balance it out to 4-4.
I can't believe you got for me my point and my bonus point. Jeez.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. All right, so let's go to the next topic.
What day are they going to open the parks in Walt Disney World? July. I do not think there's any way that they're going to not at least partially open for the 4th of July. That's one of the busiest days of the year.
Okay. I agree with you that they will not miss a 4th of July because of patriotism, and it would be very depressing, and we need to celebrate something in this country. And there will be fireworks in D.C. It might not be in New York, probably, but there will be in D.C. So, Disney, desperately, is not going to do a 4th of July celebration without fireworks. It's just not going to happen. They want to do the whole shebang, and they will do the whole shebang. And the way they're going to accomplish the whole shebang is by opening up on June 1st and testing everything out. No fireworks until we get to 4th of July.
Say shebang.
Shebang. Shebang. Shebang. No, that's the same.
That's totally different.
She moves. She moves.
No.
No, that's Enrique Iglesias. It's
Or Daddy Yankee, depending on your
well.
preference.
Muévelo, sin parar.
On topic.
Okay.
And the important point here is I won.
No, you definitely didn't win. Neither one of us got this one right on opening dates for the parks. You had July 1st,
Yeah.
and I had June 1st for the parks.
Again, closest without going over.
Yeah, okay. So, I already took the half a point for being right on the parks opening before the publicly available resorts, so that's why. So here it's no points.
Yeah, no points, no points. We award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That's right.
Yeah, July 4th. We were so sure on July 4th. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Obviously, the easiest thing to do is just avoid it altogether. I don't know why we didn't think of that.
I mean, we did think of it, but we just didn't think it'd be patriotic. I mean, and it really isn't. And I really do feel like Disney's missing the mark on this one. Because Universal's opening a month earlier. And they could have used that month at the same time to do everything that I said, and I would have been right, and I would have been much happy. No, but no, I would have been happy that they had a 4th of July celebration. I mean, the fact is that, like, to have a 4th of July, with all the things that's already happened in our society, in our culture, and to not have a real 4th of July celebration at Disney is sad. And I know it's like, oh, it's just Disney, bro. But I mean, it's symbolic. I mean, Main Street is supposed to be like a symbol of modern of America in a specific time period, and it's supposed to just be Americana. And for that not to be open on 4th of July and to not have fireworks is just
I feel like we
sad.
need to edit behind you like a waving American flag and put a filter on
Bald
so you're wearing an Uncle Sam hat and a bald eagle can swoop through.
Yeah.
If I had the technical skills to add all that crap into the video, I definitely would.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. No 4th of July.
No 4th of July. So they just
apparently they're not nearly
avoided
as patriotic as we thought. Moving on.
It's because they're a bunch of Chinese.
I think it's because the crowd control would be insane.
Yeah, crowd.
Right, like to do it with no fireworks and
No, you're not
only
gonna
like
do it.
a handful of people there, like that might be more depressing than not doing it at all.
Let's be honest, people aren't going to socially distance while walking down Main Street anyway, so they should have just done the fireworks. But regardless, if you're uncomfortable with being with the situation, your health situation, you probably shouldn't be going to theme parks. So
Yeah, I mean
that way this would solve the whole problem. But
that's true, but I mean you also have to be concerned about general spread, which is the main thing that the rules are for. So
sure, trust me, it's not helping. It's not helping.
Okay.
All right. So next topic. Let's see who's right. Right now it's 4-4 all square.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, it is. Trust me.
Okay.
I'm keeping count. Day one, are they gonna have Festival of the Lion King? I said yes every other seat. Though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Every other seat.
Yeah, so I know it says no info. When my beautiful wife did the edits to this video, it was actually before the info arrived. So there is.
You throw me under the bus like that. It's
I'm not throwing
brutal.
you under
Yeah,
the. Oh man, I said
see the
beautiful.
tires
I said
coming.
beautiful wife.
Just because I'm beautiful doesn't mean the bus won't hit
I
me
mean,
just
it's
the
not.
same, buddy.
I'm trying to say it's not your fault that you put.
Wait,
no,
but there is no info. They
There
haven't said
is.
anything about shows.
Do we need to pull up the
Just-
Disney website to prove this?
Or you could
I
just
could
tell
prove-
us what
okay.
they said about shows because I clearly missed it.
All right. So, along with listing fireworks and parades, they listed shows as being impacted. Now, whether that meant impacted as they're going to run them less often or impacted as they're not going to run them at all, I don't know for certain. But
They
it
also
did
said that
include
about
it
the
in
rides.
It
and
included in the list with fireworks, and it included in the list with meet and greets.
Okay, so I did
Right.
see that, but I thought that that was more in line with they said like everything is basically subject to changes and closures. And so like, yeah, of
You
course
can
it's
read-
subject to changes and closures, but that doesn't tell us whether it's just going to be changed for capacity like we were talking about where they're just going to do like every other seat or whether they're going to just have no shows altogether.
But if you list it with the fireworks, the parades, and the meet and greets, which are all none
Yeah.
of which have happened, you would think it also
Oh,
means...
we didn't prognosticate on meet and greets.
Well, I mean, I think...
One more point for each of us.
Okay.
We know.
Sure. Okay, but on this topic, we can both agree that neither one of us got it right.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so 4-4 still. Let's go on to the next topic. It's going to stay at the lowest rates they've seen in the last 12 months. I see yes. It's definitely a yes.
Nope.
So you're going the literally no discounts at all route because that's the
I
minimal
think they're gonna
that
have
they
their
can do.
standard discounts. That's what we saw right now. We priced out some
Yeah.
cheap rooms because right now not a lot of people are booking, but also because they just have a standard pass holder discount that they offer every
Yeah, I
summer,
get
and they
that.
just didn't
I
get rid
that.
of it.
But they made it. It says 35% every year, but it's 35% off of some base rate. That base rate they move however they want, whenever they want.
Okay.
So yeah, the 35%'s been the 35% the last 10 years. But the base rate's been climbing. So this base rate off of the 35% is lower than it has been, than we've ever seen it for certain rooms.
Nah.
Absolutely.
How many times for Food and Wine Fest have we considered Swan and Dolphin versus some of the other Crescent Lake resorts?
Okay,
They're comparable.
You're wrong on this.
They've always been comparable.
Okay. All right. Look, you wouldn't be able to touch Riviera for the price that we got it for if it wasn't for the fact that we're in this pandemic. That's just the truth.
I think that if there are discounts, they're going to be, even if they are related to the pandemic, they're going to be dressed up as whatever the standard discounts that they always put out, because I don't think Disney wants to be seen actively attempting to bring in crowds. It's not good PR right now.
I disagree. It's the one that doesn't affect the brand the most because it's not related to the tickets themselves. It's related to the resorts, which they fluctuate anyways in price.
But you don't think they're going to open the resorts until like a month after they open anyhow. So.
I get that.
So I think I'm even more justified on this one, because not only was I right about the discounts, but they actually took away some of the discounts that they were offering before. Because they told everybody who was rebooking that they could get free dining, but then they canceled all free dining through the end of the year. So they actually, not only did they not offer any new discounts, they took discounts away.
I'll give you the point. I mean, reluctantly, I'll give you the point. And the reason is because there's no discounts going on for those during reopening. It looks like there's actually so much pent-up demand that the reservation system is almost exclusively a response to the demand. So it looks like the reason why, in my opinion, just pontificating here, on why they're doing the reservation system for in-park, for the park per day, is that they already had so many bookings, tickets and resorts for specific days, that it already reached their capacity of what they want to do. Actually, much larger than the capacity that they want to operate at. Because they kept the systems just as is, meaning they could book it up 100% and they'll deal with it later. But they got so much more than they expected during this pandemic that people really desperately want to go back to Disney, that they're like, well, now that we have to cancel everybody because we actually sold too many rooms and we sold too many tickets, and we need to have another way of like queuing this up, filtering, so that we can have a fair way of getting people into the parks.
I mean, I think even more so than just not bringing in crowds, they're like trying to quietly show people who weren't 100% like, I will go, the door. Like, they're trying to get people to cancel a little bit, I think. Because they probably have too many people.
They have too many.
And I mean, like, Shanghai Disneyland sold out their first reservations, like, in like the overnight, basically.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I know Shanghai Disneyland operates a little bit more like Disneyland in California, where it's mostly locals and it's day visitors, but still, like, they had a lot of pent-up demand there. It showed in the bookings, and I think that's true here too.
And really, if you just look at it by another lens, the reservation system is just a way for Disney to cancel people's reservations without canceling them and having the bad PR, even while the parks are really open. They don't want to have the PR, okay, just like we did with the fast passes and dining reservations, we're also going to cancel all of your resort reservations even though the parks are open. That would be a bad PR nightmare. And then they'd have to go into, well, who can then rebook? And so to avoid all of those conversations and to like force it to be in effect annual pass holders, they put this like other layer in between, which is that reservation system, which in essence cancels everybody's.
But they are going to give the first opportunity to make reservations to people who have current bookings.
Yeah,
so
like I said, that'll be annual pass holders first, and then everybody else, and it'll just fill up with annual pass holders.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Hard
but
to say.
They have so much demand, apparently, that they don't need to offer discounts. And like you said, there are a certain type of people who really, really, really desperately want to go to Disney and do things and get out of the house no matter what, and they don't care about the risks because they don't. Maybe it's not that serious for them. That's fine. Not judging, but those people are willing to pay anything, so they don't need to offer discounts to those people. Right, that's for certain, and they're not.
Something that occurred to me when they were putting out these announcements was they list, along with some of the other stuff that's closed or canceled or might be impacted, they list the backstage tours that they do. So, you know, they have like the ones that are pretty low entry price, like the Behind the Scenes tour. But then they have like the private tours where you can have the tour guide. They have that one that costs like $12,000 a day. So I kind of wonder if those are canceled.
Oh, no, there's no way those are canceled.
Or whether, you know,
No
the
way.
basketball stars who are going to go and play for the NBA are perfectly fine having their little family trip and getting through the Fast Pass line that's a non-existent line now.
NBA playing the playoffs in Disney is still to be determined.
I know.
But
But it feels true.
Ironically,
it feels true.
We are going to do a
I think
Fallout
it's
video.
weird.
The best video that we've done in terms of views is why Disney World is like why Disney was like Las Vegas or Las Vegas is like Disney,
something
right?
like that.
We're going to do a Fallout video because this is just a poignant moment for it. Is that NBA trying to do playoffs? They're talking with Disney World and they're talking with Las Vegas. Who's gonna win, right? It's like, well, they're really the same thing. We know that, and so we're gonna do a follow-up video on that for certain because we find that to be ironic. But
It is funny how similar they are. But yeah, so
That's
I
a
think
point
we
for
had
you.
I think we had a couple more discussions about other discounts more specific. So
Yeah.
let's go to the next one.
let's go to the next one. Right now, you got 5, and I got 4. There'll be a price reduction in annual passes of any sort.
So I say they're going to have a longer renewal window. So, you know, they usually give you like that 1 month free extension if you renew it before it expires. And I think they're going to
It's the same thing.
I think they're going to do it a little longer than that,
3 months,
right?
the length of the enclosure.
But they've already announced that.
No, but I mean for new annual passes. You renew right now, and you'll get. I believe once they announce the reopening date, the new annual passes for renewal will allow you to have additional free months based on the length of the enclosure. So if it's 2 months,
they've already
3
said
months,
that. They already
for
sent
renewal,
that out to
not for existing. I'm talking for new ones, not for existing ones, new ones.
New ones are renews because those are two different things.
I mean, in this case, it would be probably renewals.
Yeah,
And
that
not
I agree
new
on.
ones.
New ones, I think you get the same deal as you've always gotten. You get 12 months for whatever the cost is. I don't think it's going to be if you didn't have a pass during the time that it was closed, you're not going to get anything.
I'm with you. For renewals, that they will get this. So it'll be. I believe they're going to give 3 free months, and there's a potential they might even apply the credit if you ask for the refund for your previous annual pass to be applied to the new annual pass that you're extending. It might be that as well, but at least the 3 free months on top of.
Yeah, they're going to want to keep your money locked up if they possibly can.
yes.
They do not want to lose pass holders for sure. So I think that they're going to be. I think that it's going to be, you know, basically what you would hope it would be for that. That was a lot of pass holder talk.
It was.
They haven't really said anything other than what they said, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
They haven't updated it at all. Right now it just says you'll get an extension for the length of the closure.
So this is a no points because we don't have enough info, but let's do some more prognosticating because we have a little bit more information, not much on it.
The only information that's new that I can think of is that they said that there's going to be blockout dates on passes. But they didn't specify which passes or whether that was a change from the blockout dates that already existed. It seemed to imply it was a change. When I went and I looked at kind of the higher level passes, I looked at platinum and gold passes, and there weren't any blockout dates showing on the website. But I did it like 5 seconds after they sent the email, so maybe they've updated it since then. But they did mention something about blockout dates with relation to the reservation system, but it's still very unclear.
Yeah, so the only thing that is new to me on the whole annual pass discussion would be the fact that they are going to limit the number of simultaneous reservations that you are holding for in-park visits or annual pass holders. So meaning that, let's say today or tomorrow they open up the reservation system, I can't just reserve the rest of the year as a pass holder and hold all of those reservations. Even if theoretically I was local and I could visit every day, they're not going to let you hold that many days simultaneously. They'll let you hold so many at a time. Now, they said they're going to open up reservations for dining 60 days in advance. We'd imagine that means also you can book up to 60 days in advance on this theme park reservation. But we don't know how many you're going to be allotted simultaneous.
Yeah.
That's an unknown.
Yeah, I do think they're going to try and move things to that 60-day rolling window as much as they can, because I mean, one of the things that really confuses people with regards to booking Disney vacation are, oh, you have 30 days, you have 60 days, you have 180 days. We did a whole video on what things to do in which order, because it can be kind of complicated. So I think maybe they're trying to make that more streamlined, where I can very easily imagine that if somebody was buying a multi-day ticket, they already have the variable pricing based on the day of the ticket. So say you're booking something for September 2021, you would go online, you book your package, which includes your hotel, your ticket. When you buy your ticket, you're going to say which dates, and you're going to reserve which parks you want for which of those dates. And you're going to do all of that at the same time when you first book. And then 60 days in advance, you're going to get your dining and so forth. Like, I think they're trying to kind of go to a cleaner system, and they're using this as an opportunity to do that.
It's definitely cleaner to have everything at 60 days, including dining. But really, dining's the only outlier. Dining and tickets, you could always book tickets, but tickets are tickets are tickets. They really don't do anything for you for the fast pass for reserving anything till really a 60-day window or 180 for the dining. So I do think it makes things simpler if they just did everything 60. But there's a couple of edge cases, and there's a couple of things like Disney vacation professionals. It would affect their business greatly. There are people that definitely book more than 60 days in advance.
Well, and it's also reasons. With all the DVC people, it's going to be confusing, right? Because they have 7 and 11 months are their booking windows. So how does that fall in? I don't know.
I would like them to simplify it one way or the other somehow, but the other edge cases are you have the additional fast passes that you can buy if you are concierge level. That's 90. Yeah. So, I mean, granted, that's an outlier.
Those so few people, though. I mean, like, I feel like if you're doing that kind of stuff, like, there's always going to be special rules, and,
that's
you have a concierge to explain to you what they are, so...
I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't think the 60-day dining reservation, even if they did that in perpetuity, I don't think that greatly impacts one way or the other Disney experience, except for maybe the hardest to get to.
Honestly, except for like those few except for those few that people didn't mind booking out that far in advance. You hear more people complaining about it and saying, "How am I supposed to decide where I want to have dinner 6 months in advance?" Way more than you have people saying anything else, right? Like, that's the number one criticism I hear about it, is basically the window's too long. So I think it's going to be mostly positive to have that.
Yeah, a little off topic from the annual pass discount, but it's okay. So I mean, I will agree with you for certain, even though we don't have enough information. New passes, we're not going to receive anything special. They have enough demand. So I think the only thing that's going to change on new passes is the language on how many simultaneous park reservations you get. It may affect the price negligible to that, because people aren't seeing as much value in it. That probably won't exist, that language, for Florida annual passes, I would imagine, because then they're definitely going to have to change the price of those, because Florida annual pass holders are not going to want to buy into something that, I only can use so many times. Right, it's not as valuable to them. So
and they did make some adjustments as well to like the monthly payment plan and whatever that's only available to Florida people, but like we're going for a broad audience here, so we won't go. But there is information about that. So if you're a Florida pass holder, like, you might want to go check that info out, because they did release a lot of new insight into how that's going to work. Yeah,
I do think there will be lower price for new passes of Florida residents for annual passes, and for those multi-day ticket packages, like 4 days for $100 kind of deal. That'll still happen for Florida. But everyone else, I agree with you. New, you're not going to get anything. And then renewals, it's still to be determined.
That's a tough one.
They have to do something. They have to do something, because otherwise, the thing of the park reservation system, initially, if you're just not on the system the moment they announce it, the first 60 days are slammed up. the first 24 hours. The first 60 days are going to be filled, and then we're going to have an annual pass that we might not actually be able to use. But even if we can use it, we only can use it X number of days, and then you're going to say, well, I might as well just take the refund, right? And if they don't want you to take the refund, though.
That's what I was going to say. They're, like I said in the previous video, they're trying to lock up the money as best they can, right? But it almost seems like they're doing the opposite, because anybody who's in that boat of having their annual pass expire, which is a lot of people because it was closed for 100 days, like that's a third of the year, right? So presumably somewhere near a third of the pass holders are in that situation. And if all they do is give them 100 days after, but 60 of those are basically not possible for a lot of them, like almost all those people are just going to take the refund and run at that point, right? So maybe they don't care, but that seems like a very foolish decision to me to not care about that. So
I mean, I think they're going to extend the number of days that it was closed, but they have to add an additional incentive for the fact that you might not be able to book book that reservation for the park, or you might not book enough of them for what you think is valuable for the remainder of your annual pass. So you're going to have to do something on top of that to keep you as a renewed, instead of just letting it expire.
Well, new prediction time then. Wait, we get the papers out.
New prediction.
New prediction time. No, I'm not.
There's not enough room around here.
All right, new prediction time.
Prediction time. Uh-oh.
The prediction on hand then is
for renewals.
For renewing renewing an annual pass.
Yes.
Are they going to offer any sort of like discount or additional extension? 1 being no, they're just going to screw everybody. 5 being yes, you're not even going to have to ask for it. They're just going to put it in the system and it's going to be a blanket. Everybody gets it. 3 would be somewhere in the middle.
Well, let's actually put down what we think the extension will be. We both think they're extensions. They're not money discounts, right? They want to keep your money. That's the whole thing. So it's just going to be extensions. But
they could put a discount on a renewal, right? So if the problem is, I can only book
that's fine.
a third of the year, maybe they're going to give you maybe they're going to reduce renewal prices, right? They could
either of those. Well, we already have the 10%. So in addition to the 10%.
So are they going to add an additional incentive to renew your pass, basically?
All right. So we're going to do both, or we're going to do which one first?
We're just going to do them together. Both.
Together?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay.
5 being yes, for sure.
No, I mean, no. Let's put in the percentage that we think you're going to be a discount versus percentage for a discount, and then the number of extension free months. All right, ready? Go.
It will be a discount, I think. I have no idea on either of those.
Oh, no idea. All right.
No idea.
I put 0.
I won't even go out on a limb on that.
I put no additional discount for the renewal. You're going to get that same 10%.
Okay.
And I said you're going to at least get 6 free months in addition. In addition to the closure period. They already gave you the closure period. 6 additional months on top of that. And honestly, I think what's actually likely, just for simplicity of the situation, what they're going to do if you renew, but you're going to renew maybe with the 0% discount. If you renew at a certain window, they'll just extend your pass for a whole year. Whatever your pass date was, it was expired on March 15th, 2020. It's now going to be March 15th, 2021. Right?
Yeah, they could do that. That would at least help a little bit with the crazy surge problem, right? Because right now, a lot of people would, maybe they're not desperate to go to the park right when it reopens, but if they only give you 100 days and 60 of them are blocked out, then you basically have 1 month where you're going to be desperate to go just to get something out of your pass, right? And that's kind of the same problem. So they're probably going to have to do something to fix it, but no idea what that might be.
Pay for 12, get 18. That's what's going to happen.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, we have one more topic.
You're still 5 to 4.
Woo!
All right, last topic. Let's check it out. This is for all the marbles, as they say. Single multi-day ticket discount.
Honestly, I'd be surprised if you can get in on a single day ticket for the remainder of the year. All right, so we didn't really do a proper prediction on that one, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I was right.
They're not going to allow single day ticket holders or multi-day ticket holders?
They might allow it, but like we've said earlier, in practice, I think it's going to be basically impossible.
In
to
practice,
get it.
I
So-
agree. In practice, I agree. So we'll call that a wash.
So that means that I won.
5-4. Dun, 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 dun.
5-4. It was 5-3. Wasn't it?
Yeah, right. It was 5-4, but you won. It's okay.
I win.
You won.
I'm a guru.
You're the guru. You're
My
the
name
Disney.
is Janet, and I'm your Disney guru.
Yes.
Right.
So.
So a couple new predictions in there. So if you liked seeing our response to our predictions, let us know, and we'll respond to our new ones. If not, maybe we'll see you in July.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see you in July. And as always, we like to wrap up each video with a quote from Walt Disney himself. And this is appropriate for what they're doing at Disney. Do a good job. You don't have to worry about the money. It will take care of itself. Just do your best work. Then try to trump it. Not trumpet. Trump it.
No,
Not-
got it. We got it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, well, actually, though, we
What?
will have to do another prediction video because, that made me think about all the Epcot stuff going on.
Oh yeah, a construction zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can get into that next video.
the experimental prototype construction of tomorrow.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Shining at the end of it. Oh, we're not doing it.
Well, you were gonna finish it.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow
Oh, it's just a day away.
All right, that's enough. Thank you for joining us.
As always, I'm
If
Brian.
you made it this far, just consider
Yeah,
that
just
your little Easter egg,
an
and,
Easter
and
egg.
put it in the comments and confuse people, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about?"
As always, I'm Brian,
I'm Janet.
and we are
Distinctive. Bye bye.